slow. Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 6922 North Bank Street here in Portland, located just to the right of the front doorway. I describe everything as if you're out in the street, facing the front of the house. We're about 6-8 feet to the right of the door. We've got a 4-inch ABS cleanout. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's currently running. We're zeroed out at the base of the cleanout. Off we go. Line's transitioning here to 6-inch concrete, and we're going to locate that transition when we pull out to see where it's at. Like I say, here on the right side of the screen, you've got a world's largest earthworm there. More than anything, though, what that tells us is these pipe joints are opening to the ground. That one may very well have originated out of this pipe joint, but we have some prior to that. We're just swapped over to clay pipe too, but we have some prior to that point that are separated in the concrete pipe that may very well be open as well. There's another earthworm right there in the flow line. It's kind of hard to see, but I knocked him loose. Another one there. And usually, I've been doing this 13 years. I've cambered 20-something thousand sewer lines at this point. Most earthworms don't travel terribly far from the joint they come through. That's at least my experience with them. So usually the joint they're near is often the one they've come through. But like you saw my camera do there, it knocked one loose and went floating down the line. So once water flow gets down the sewer line, they can move from to different locations. And there's the main lateral there at about 48 feet. That looks like one of our really old brick mains that you can walk through. They're big enough to do that.
Oh, wow.
All right, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates on North Bank Street. Start reeling back in here. And we'll do a locate. Most likely, it's pretty typical, the transition from concrete to clay pipe is often at the street curb from this era, so we're going to focus on that stuff and back.
Side we have.
And we're still in the roadway here at this point.
An listing coordinator that basically comes out, measures the room, sign in the yard, puts a lockbox on, and coordinates where everything goes.
So you don't have to worry.
I mean, we have a company that comes out and installs a sign and stuff, but like low lockbox.
Now we're sitting just back from the curb here. I'm getting about 8 feet deep, which is A lot deeper than I thought we were going to be there. Anyway, we've got earthworms all the way back here into the concrete pipe, and this is going uphill. I mean, not that worms can't go uphill, but typically flow takes them downline, especially the amount of water we've been running here. So by that, you've also, I mean, you've got some separations in the concrete. I mean, there's a very clear and obvious one there. So anyway, not necessarily every single joint in the line is open to the ground, but it looks like at least a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them on property here are. So as far as flow goes, the line still has good flow through this area. My concern is the integrity of the line and having open joints. It can create for a progressive settling situation and cause hydro erosion. And it can cause the line to settle, but it can also do hydro erosion issues to the surrounding area, to the ground above it, things like that. So anyway, what I'm going to recommend here is an update to the concrete pipe that's on property. Alright, so right where we're currently sitting at, it doesn't look like they've done street improvements right in front of the house here. There's no sidewalk yet. Where we're sitting right now, if you were to draw an imaginary line and extend the sidewalk straight down in front of this house, where we're sitting at is where the sidewalk edge would be, where the front yard would meet the sidewalk edge. Getting about 5 feet deep there, and this thing is at a pretty hard angle, so it doesn't surprise me we're getting down to the 8-foot deep realm. So given the depth this line is, I would highly recommend looking into the prospect of an epoxy liner. The line has good enough slope and grade still that this looks like a good candidate for it. That is a trenchless repair system, and you do have a 4-inch clean out here, so you've got everything you need to do a liner. There's another little worm right there. In fact, that one shows you that joint is open. He's going right into the pipe joint. So anyway, that's what I'm recommending the fix on it. The flow through here is still good. That's not what I'm nitpicking or concerned about. It's the integrity of the line, the fact that your pipe joints are opened up to the ground now. After any repairs are done, I recommend re-scoping afterwards to check the work. It's very important to do that. Get it between about 5 feet and about 8 feet deep approximately. 5 feet at the start of the concrete, about 8 feet at where it meets the street curb anyway. And you can do that repair however you want to. I would just suggest looking into the liner option because it may save money. It'll certainly save you from having to tear up the ground. It's a real shame. Whoever did that update, I think, did not realize that your responsibility as the homeowner extends to the curb, not to the right-of-way. They took it to the right-of-way right on the nose, like that was where responsibility ended. So that could have been updated for almost nothing at that point in time. It's kind of a bummer. Alright, all the ABS pipe looks fantastic. Super clean, good flow. We're now going backwards into the home. Everything through the foundation wall looks good. No settling issues. Get into a little bit of cast iron back in here. Just showing a little bit of roughness and pitting, but flow line here still looks intact, and it drains off proper. Big thing when you have cast iron is being mindful as to what's going down the line. You don't want to put flushable wipes or any other improper item. Flushable wipes are slightly less terrible than paper towels are. They snag up very easily in cast iron. And when you get blockage in cast iron, it blocks good. So you want to avoid that kind of stuff. But all the cast iron here all appears to be intact and functioning properly at this time. Anyway, as far as flow goes, we have good flow all the way to the street. The joints right now are not at a point where they would be letting sewage escape from them. It's highly unlikely. Hardly any is getting out of those joints. They're not gaping wide open enough to just passively allow sewage to go through. But under hydraulic pressure, when the ground is saturated with water, that pressure can quite easily force groundwater and dirt through those joints. If worms can get through, dirt certainly can. So. Anyway, recommend re-scope after any repairs are done there to check the work. It's about a 10-foot section pipe, basically from about 20 feet to about 31, 32 feet there.